Hello, how are you? It's another time of learning concerning catfish farming and how to go about the business. Like in every other business, catfish farming is a business that must be properly and adequately entered into. Many people believe that you can start a business and succeed just because somehow you pray about it, or by fate, F-A-T-E, or by chance the business works. No. Not to know anything about a business and start a business it's already an attempt to fail. We must be extremely cautious before we go into any business like catfish farming. The basics must be known at least, and then never to be ignored. Now, what I see so many people doing in catfish farming, like in any other business, is that they ignore the basics. That is the major things. I like to call these major things the pillars of the business. There are certain things in catfish business that you can never ignore, or else you can never succeed. You just be losing and losing and losing, throwing away money and get frustrated at the end of the day. Let me start from the drainage system. Wherever you want to do your catfish business, if you don't have a good drainage system, don't even try to start. A lot of people will tell you, you drain the water into your compound, you will dig a well or whatever. These things don't work. If you start to drain the water into your compound, eventually you get tired of draining it into your compound. The smell, the mosquitoes it will bring, even your neighbors will want to almost crucify you. You know, the well thing will work for a while, and after some time it will fail. One of the basic things about starting a catfish business is that you must have a good drainage system. The drainage system that will allow you to send out waste water successfully. When I say successfully, that is to say, it has your drainage or your gutter has somewhere it is flowing to. If there is a canal near you, better. If there is a river near you, better. If there is a gutter that is flowing to somewhere and it's always flowing, better. It is good. Then you can say, I will start my catfish business, no matter how small or big, on this property that has a drainage system, or close to a river, or close to a canal. Another thing that you must put into consideration before you start this business is to have enough tanks, enough ponds, like plastic tanks, tarpaulin tanks, concrete tanks, and all that. Take for instance, somebody wants to do this catfish business and they want to start with about 1,000 pieces. 1,000 pieces of catfish. You need at least close to 20 plastic tanks of 1,000 liter plastic tanks, and you need at least 10 or more tarpaulin tanks of 6x4, 6x4, so that you can sort, you can separate, because the catfish business needs spacing. You need spacing for so many reasons. Spacing for the fishes to be able to breathe properly, spacing for the fishes to be able to grow properly, spacing so that the water will be at least oxygenated all the time. Spacing so that you don't waste your feed. While feeding, if the fishes are too congested in a tank, you just be feeding and feeding and feeding. At the end of the day, you just see a few of them coming out very big, and the rest of them are very small. So that means you have wasted your feed for nothing. So you don't start catfish business with one tank, with two tanks. I know they say start business small, But starting small does not mean starting without the basics. You understand what I'm saying? You have to start with the basics. Number 3, you cannot start any business in Nigeria without a source of an alternative source of power, that is generator and all that. You must have generator, and a generator that is working properly. That one is not your fault. It's not my fault, as it were. You know, it's just that we do not have infrastructures and facilities. So you must have to get that down. You must have to be able to generate power to pump your water, and not just power alone, but adequate power, good power. In case you are doing it big, you have say about 20 tanks. You can't do it one small generator. It has to be a big generator that can pump at least from 2 boreholes of 1 horsepower each, so that you can drain your water quickly and pump in your water quickly. If you don't get that, if it is not so, your fishes will be stressed and your fishes will be dying. Now that is the situation we see ourselves. We must have to generate power, alternative power. Now I go to some farms and I see people, they have about 20 tanks, 30 tanks, and they're using 1 borehole with a sumo in it of about half horsepower. And then when they drain, the period to drain and to pump in water, it's like the whole day, you know. And like that, the fishes get stressed and die, and then the growth is stunted, so on and so forth. Things are happening in the farm. They begin to attribute it to, you know, supernatural things. You know, it's not difficult for us to attribute things like that to supernatural powers because of our, you know, superstitious attitude, beliefs, you know. So this is what it is. There must be a generator by your side. Number 3, we must, as you know, necessary as it is, make sure that if we're starting something like a catfish farm, we are close to it, or we are free at least to be able to check on our farms 2-3 times in a week, stay in our farm a bit, brood over it, look after our business. You cannot start a catfish farm and hand it over to people and you are never there. It will crumble. It will crumble. Nobody is good enough to look after your investment for you. The ones who are too smart will take away your money, sell your fishes, destroy your business. The ones who are too, you know, slow in the mind will be foolish and do terrible things to you. So now the bottom line is this: if you don't have time to at least look into your business, or your catfish business, for 2-3 times in a week, don't start it. If you have time to look into your business for the whole week, beautiful. If you have time enough and your business, your catfish business, is the only business you look after, beautiful. Then look after it as much, you know, as much as you can. So please do not start catfish business if you won't have time to look after it at all. You know, somebody was talking to me here the other day. He invested so much of money, and at the end of the day, he got nothing because he hardly has time to go to his farm. It did not work. Everything just, you know, everything just collapsed, and he's so frustrated with the whole thing. So, you know, it's these basics must be looked into. Then we come to this other angle. If you don't have enough funds to buy feed, don't start. You know what some people do? They start the business hoping that they will get money. They start the business with nothing. Now, this is where starting small comes into play. Start according to your pocket. If you have enough funds to start with 500, start with 500. But let it be that the funds is able to, you know, take care of the 500 pieces of fishes you have. Get the feed down and start your business. Do not start catfish business on the hope that I'm going to get money somewhere. Okay, let me just start with what I have. Tomorrow I'm going to get something somewhere. You are going to frustrate yourself. Okay, you get into a situation where you can't even take care of your home anymore. You know, every little thing you have, you want to bring it in. Sometimes you will not be able to feed and all that. That can even cause your fishes to be stunted, sick, stressed, and all that. You know, so you must have the capital, okay, down, that can take care of your business till harvest stage. So that is extremely and seriously important. That is one of the things that must be considered. Many people do not consider these things. And then investigation about the business, the outlet, and all that. Some people get to harvest stage, they manage to get to harvest stage, they don't know who to sell to. Okay, you must have to understand that the outlet is as important as any other thing in the business. Knowing how to sell the catfish, knowing who will buy your catfish from you, and all that. Somebody called me some time ago and asked me, I have some fishes to sell, I don't know who to sell to. I said, you don't need to ask me some questions. Go to the market, look for these women who are selling catfish, ask them, tell them that I have fishes to sell. These are the kind of little things you can do, okay? And better if you do it before you start, okay? You get to know how they sell, who buys, and all that, and then you start your business. So when it is time to harvest, you are not stressed. You are not, you are not confused. You just go to them and say, it is time, I want to sell, okay? So you sell off, and all that. So, and then get to know about the type of feed that you give to your catfish before you even start. What is necessary to give to them that will not cause too much of burden on your finances. You have to know this. Ask people questions. Those who know it, not everybody, but those who are succeeding in the business, ask them questions and then go into it. Get all these things in place, and some others that I will bring to you some other time. Get all this in place before you venture into the business. Catfish business is not just about getting a tank, putting water into it, and putting fish into it, and feeding the fish. There are a lot of things to know before you go into the business so that you can succeed. Thank you for listening. I always say subscribe to my YouTube channel so that when I come out with informations and instructions like this, you will be the first to get it. So do subscribe immediately. My name is Mr. Greg.